Hi, welcome to another Geek Jabber video. I am Tim, and once again we are back with the 486. So we're going to push the boundaries a little bit today. So you might remember recently I upgraded the CPU from a 33 MHz 486 to a 40 MHz 486. So that should give us about a 20% performance increase. And I'm going to see if that's enough to get an MP3 file playing. So MP3s, being a compressed file, can be a little bit taxing on some of these older CPUs, but we're going to see if it actually works. But before we get to that, we need to see if an uncompressed file actually works. So I'm going to start with the normal Windows Media Player. And I've just thrown into the hard drive just a WAV file, which is completely uncompressed, so a little bit less taxing on the CPU than an MP3. And this, of course, works. So this is an MP3 file playing absolutely fine on a 486. So I'll cut that one there. And of course, Media Player, this version at least, does not do MP3 files, but we have a solution. So this program here called WinPlay. So there are a couple of different versions of this released. So I have used the Windows 95 version of this in the past. This is the Windows 3.1 version, and it gives us a couple of options in here. So I'm going to leave these at default at the moment, other than I've told it I'm using a 486 computer instead of a Pentium. And I've got the same file encoded as 320 kilobit MP3, which is the absolute maximum quality you can get out of an MP3 file. As you can tell, this is not so crash hot. It is struggling to keep up with a 320 kilobit file. The bit rate is a bit high for this 40 megahertz CPU to work with. It is just not keeping up. So, first trick, I've got another version saved at 128 kilobit, so the quality's dropped a bit, and it's a bit better, but it is still absolutely struggling. So we'll stop that for a moment. Luckily, I can stop it without the machine just completely locking up, but we'll downmix it to the lowest quality we can go. And you can probably hear the quality has completely fallen off a cliff, but this just works. It still breaks up a tiny little bit, but it's otherwise almost playable. So I'm going to go with, at a reduced quality, a 486 40 megahertz can play an MP3 file. It's only just, but it works. So I reckon if you want to do MP3s on a 486, I'd probably be targeting at least a 66 megahertz 486. You'll probably want an 80 megahertz or 100 for a bit more of a safety buffer. But I think we can say a 486 can kind of play an MP3 file. You just have to put up with a fairly brutal loss in quality while doing so. But otherwise it can play an uncompressed WAV file absolutely fine. So I'm calling this a partial success. But anyway, I will wrap this video up before I start rambling too much longer. So If you like what you saw, you know what to do with that like button, you know what to do with that subscribe button. If you want to support the channel, visit our Discord or website. Links are in the description. You know what to do with them, and I will see you in the next video.